both of us, actually.
Okay.
So,
You've been there less than a year, and now it's just your wife's income. What does she make?
35.
All right.
35.
Have you started looking for jobs already? Are there other opportunities in your area in IT?
It seems so. I've heard back from a few.
Good.
So,
okay. Well, hopefully we get you back working in IT very soon. In the meantime, we've got to figure out how to survive until the next thing happens. So what are your monthly expenses right now? Have you guys sat down with a budget to go, okay, here's what it's going to take to run the house for the next month, for the next 3 months?
Not specifically. Like, I pay attention to what's in our bank account, and then we do have a mortgage, and then food and gas is really all it is right now.
Okay. So this is what we call storm mode. And so when you sit down to do your budget, we're going to gift you every dollar premium, which is going to help. It's going to connect to your bank account, track transactions. There's a paycheck planning tool that you can use to make sure that you've got enough money coming in to cover all the bills that are coming up. And so I want you and your wife to do is sit down tonight and lay out every single expense. Print out the bank statement, do whatever you got to do, and lay out exactly what you need, not what you want, what you need to cover your budget for the month. And Rachel, what are some of the things they need to look out for in that budget?
Well, just know as you're pulling those numbers, Christian, this was numbers that you guys were living off of before a budget. And
you made over double.
So you're probably going to be, spending more because it wasn't very much on purpose. And so when you guys look, do you guys have kids?
No.
Okay, just you guys. So, I would look and say, okay, here's what it costs for grocery-wise, restaurant, lights, utilities, when you look at subscriptions, like anything that is coming out of your checking account, I want you to write those numbers down. And again, this is before you budgeted. So, I don't know, if you spent $700 a month at a grocery store, just know it's you two, and that wasn't on a budget, so try to bring that down to $400, right? Do what you can to limit as much expenses as possible for you guys during this time, because, it's just maybe a month or so before you transition in, and so just know that if you cut things now, it doesn't mean that they're going to be forever, but for this time period, because I don't want you guys going into debt. I don't want anything like that to be happening, because that's going to cause more stress. But I think having these numbers down and getting a good idea of, okay, here's the paycheck for next month, here are our expenses, and then if there are gaps, Christian, between now and you getting a job, that may mean you're picking up an hourly job somewhere and doing what you have to do, even though it's not the job and you may feel overqualified for it, but the idea is staying afloat with your food, shelter, utilities, and transportation, and that would be the biggest thing. So, as you're talking to these other companies, do you think the transition, getting a new job, will be fairly quick? Would you say?
I hope so. I'm doing some interviews soon.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. Well,
do you guys have any debt?
We have a mortgage, and we just paid off our car just last month.
Right. Good.
So no other debt except mortgage.
Correct.
Any savings?
We have the $1,000 emergency fund, and then about $3,000 on top of that.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, and this is a time that if you have to use that emergency fund, that's what it's for. Job loss, one of those that we list out. But if you can avoid it and do what you can not to touch it, that would be ideal. But if you need to dip in and get some money out of that emergency fund, that's what it's there for. But it won't be there forever, and it's not a big one, right? It's just to really cover those really major things. So if you can, in the meantime, again, cover the basic expenses. But hopefully it won't be too long, Christian. I feel hopeful for you. I think you're in a great sector, looking for a job, all that. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of hope there.
Thank you.
And in the meantime, you may, even outside of a retail job, you can download these apps like DoorDash and Instacart and Uber Eats and go to your local pizza place and deliver pizzas just for a few weeks until you land that next thing, until that comes in. That would be very wise. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to do, to kind of swallow your pride and do a job you'd rather not be doing and making sacrifices, but this is what it looks like to take care of your family.
Yeah, I actually did DoorDash in college, so I'm trying to now.
There you go.
Yeah, you can make $15, $20 an hour, in tips and all that. So I think that you're going to be back on your feet with a great field like IT. in your area. It sounds like you'll be back in no time, but this is the time to just go, we got to live on the rice and beans, going scorched earth for a little while until we're back in the clear and have some stability.
Yeah, and whenever there's a situation like this, with a job loss, and especially due to a disagreement, I think it's always fair, Christian, that, your boss could have just been a complete jerk. And I'm reasonable. There's people like that out there. Maybe that was him, and that's fine. But I think it's always good introspective work to go back through and say, okay, what part did I play in this? What does that look like? And to learn in that, because this isn't Christian, but I remember talking to somebody, I may have been hosting with you, and they had 4 jobs in like 9 months, or like it was very extreme, like, okay, there's kind of a, the similar pattern that we're seeing, a common denominator, which was the caller, and I'm like, that's interesting that 4 people couldn't get along with you, 4 different bosses. So again,
that's a Tay-Tay moment.
I'm not saying that's you,
me,
Christian.
hi, I'm the problem, it's me.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not saying that's you, but those moments in life, and in any kind of conflict, I think it's always good just to do a little bit of that kind of, okay, let's flesh that back out. What can I learn from this too?
Yeah. Well, we know science shows that job loss has very similar effects to like a death. Like you're grieving something that was near and dear to your heart, that protected you, that provided for you, and so you have to grieve it too and move on with confidence that that was just a blip. It'll be a memory soon enough, my friend. This is the Ramsey Show. I can't say it enough. Protect your family. It's what you're supposed to do. Go to Xander.com or call 800-356-4282.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruz. You heard me talk about Christian Healthcare Ministries, a health cost-sharing ministry. So now I want to hear from one of our members. A lot of doctor bills with a recent pregnancy, but she says CHM shared all of her eligible pregnancy-related medical expenses and were helpful through the whole process. That's Abby's CHM story, and it could be yours. Check out chministries.org/budget to see if CHM is a good fit for your family. chministries.org/budget.
You'd do anything to protect the people you love. That's why I recommend Simply Safe Home Security. Simply Safe's professional monitoring and emergency dispatch is half the price of traditional home security. Simply Safe protects every inch of your home, so you'll rest easy knowing your family is secure. And our listeners get 20% off when they sign up for Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafedirect.com. That's simplysafedirect.com. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Take us with you on your free iHeartRadio app for your music, radio, and podcast. And now, traffic on Talk 650 KSDE.
The Friday drive already slow on eastbound 82 to Davis area, Old Davis Road out to East Child. Minor slowing on I-5 southbound out around the airport towards Highway 99. Westbound 50 already slowing down from Watt Avenue past 59th Street. While north and southbound Cap City Freeway is slow approaching the American River. Traffic on the 10s every 10 minutes. Mornings and afternoons, KFPK News Radio, 93.1 FM, 1530 AM.
This report is sponsored by Discover. If you like using debit over credit, shouldn't you also get rewarded? Well, now you can with Discover Cashback Debit. It's a checking account that rewards everyone with cash back on everyday purchases with no fees, period. Check out eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank member FDIC.
Love is creating bouquets this Valentine's Day to express your message of friendship and love to the special people in your life.
Setting a digital dollar control track. Like sound
best surveillance and control. Don't be fooled. Secure your assets right now with something Washington cannot manipulate. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon, former advisor to Donald Trump. In these times of uncertainty, I believe the best way to defend your savings is to use tangible assets, which is why I recommend a physical gold IRA convertible gold. Because gold has a 5,000-year track record of guardian of wealth. Find out more. Get your free info kit on gold IRA convertible gold. Texting the word secure to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. So text secure to the number 989898. That's secure to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRA. There's no obligation or purchase required.
Just take a race for yourself. Everything from a big game, also all up from the Las Vegas Biden president.
Co-host called Smart Money Happy Hour. One episode that launched this week about the cost of love, with relationships, with dating apps, and it was hilarious. I learned a lot. So if you want a good laugh and listen to it with your loved one or your single,
A lot of content there.
producer Skylar is single, so she filled us in on the current status of the dating world and Rachel is. I was very glad to be married as well.
And the amount of requests for Ramsey dating apps.
People want the Ramsey dating app. Well, never do. I don't want to be tied to that. There's too many creeps out there. I can't vouch for these people. Now, Rachel and I got to approve every single person that came onto the app. I didn't
When you were the matchmaker. I matchmake. Have you ever matchmake them?
I don't think I've ever ventured that
Okay.
far.
Okay.
But, all right,
Man,
Rachel
a
signing up.
one-to-one.
That's the premium version of the dating app. You can get Rachel to be the matchmaker. This is actually not the worst idea. All right, on to bigger and better things. The Studio question of the day is brought to you by Neighborly, your help for home services, from repairs and maintenance to home improvement projects. The church can bring some challenges for homeowners. Check out their helpful winter checklist. You can get it for free at neighborly.com/Ramsey.
And today's question comes from Grace in South Carolina. My father and grandfather passed away, and I've inherited what my father would have received. My husband and I are always arguing because I don't want to touch the money unless we purchase a house or invest it to secure our family's future. We are not responsible when it comes to money. We have saved and purchased under $10,000, and in less than 7 months it was gone. My husband has always wanted to start a business, and now that we have a cushion, he wants to quit his job. I asked him to build some of his clientele before quitting his job because I know that he would use the inheritance to pay our bills and living expenses and move forward.
Well, I think Grace has a lot of hope to be aware to say we are not responsible with money. And then she says, I know he'll use this money to basically just live our life, and that starting this business is not smart. He's got to build some clientele, and I would agree with that. That you shouldn't just up and quit your job and then hope that you've got this fund over here that you can blow.
That's right. But the problem is, Grace, is that there's obviously been a pattern here that's occurred with how you guys live with money, the fact that you saved $10,000 is great, and you spent it all. So the pattern of money is what needs to be addressed. And so that can be, you have it, your husband has, but either way, that's the core of the issue here, is that the way you guys handle money in the past will repeat itself unless you guys change course. And so that's what has to be addressed, in my opinion.
Yeah, but how do we move forward? It's more relational than it is financial. We don't know the amount of the inheritance. We don't know if they had debt or income, all of that. But I would hit pause on touching this inheritance for a long time until we're on the same page.
Yep, and the value system, that's what always gets coupled. That's where the arguing comes. It's not usually about the money. It's the fact that how we see life and the way we want to do life is different, and that will cause conflict if you're not on the same page. So, yeah, I mean, that's getting with a marriage counselor or a therapist, and you guys are working out how to here, and money is the tool to create that.
Well, there's an interesting piece of this. I want your take, Rachel. If you get the inheritance, but you're married to Winston, how does that, obviously it's our money, but there's still a piece of it where you have to be a good steward of the inheritance, of that legacy that was passed down to you.
Yeah.
And so it can't just
Yeah, I
be,
think it's,
for
yeah.
instance, like, well, I always wanted to start this business, so I'm going to use that money. It's still money that was given to you for your family.
Yes, I mean, I see it still as it's come into our family unit. But I think naturally you're going to... For instance, grandfather was very generous, and he left some things to the grandkids, and when that happened, I leaned more on Winston. Hey, what do you think? Because it's just grandfather, like, right, there's a natural take there.
Like, you both get a vote, but
Yeah, oh, absolutely, but I think there's, yeah, I don't know, I feel that way.
yeah.
I mean, it would be unfair to walk away do it with all my side of the family. That feels like that's not a team aspect, right? That's not the perspective you want.
That's the most interesting part of this question. On top of the relational aspect, just getting on the same page about what we're going to do with this. But I would not go blow it on some harebrained business idea.
No. Whenever you want to transition into a business like that, we always say the most ideal way to do that is have some footing
Start
that you can
small.
actually support yourself there, so that it's not this big stressful thing, right? 'Cause starting a new business, that's a blessing. Like that's such a gift.
Even at Ramsey, if we launch something new, we don't just go launch it. We test it,
Right.
we verify it, we
Right.
get the team, the resources, and we do it with cash. So that's very smart. All right, Amy is on the line in San Francisco. Amy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
I was hoping to get your advice. Basically, my question is my family doing okay financially, or should we be working harder and sacrificing more now to create a stable future? I've been listening to the show for 2 months, and I'm just kind of like all in, and my husband and I kind of disagree about like the intensity we need to be going at right now.
Okay, so how much debt do you guys have?
We have $24,000 in my student loan, and then our mortgage is $223,000.
Okay. How much do you guys make a year?
130.
How old are you two?
I'm 37. He's 40.
Okay. And do you both want to pay off debt? Are you in agreement on the goal, or is just the process the part you're not agreeing on?
Yeah, we're on agreement on the goal. It's sort of like, I think it really comes back to like our childhoods. Like I was poor growing up. I think I kind of operate from sort of like scarcity mentality. It's never going to be enough kind of thing. And he doesn't have that. He's pretty content with where we are. He thinks we're doing fine. And, I'm thinking of getting a second job to pay off the debt faster. I get really excited about if I make double mortgage payments for 6 years, I can have my house paid off, and this will be great.
So he wants
we
to
can
chip
afford
away at
that.
the debt, and you want to take a sledgehammer to it.
Yeah,
You guys have any
I guess I'm
savings?
getting really excited. Yeah, we have $27,000 in checking, and we have retirement account, and $5,000 in the money market account.
So if we knocked out the student loan today, with the money you would go free and you'd be on your way to saving up an emergency fund,
Yeah.
what would he
For the
say
mortgage.
if you told him that? Hey, I want to use the money in checking. We'll then save up. We'll make $130K. We'll save up that emergency fund back up to $25K, and then we'll begin investing and back in the mortgage.
He'd be good with that. I just made $30,000 of payment to my student loan the last 2 months since I've been listening
Good
to
for
the
you,
show.
Amy.
So we're attacking it pretty hard. He kind of wants to do baby step 2 first, or 3 first, and save up the fully funded emergency fund and kind of keep that there, and then make the student loan payment, keeping that full emergency fund in checking. So, either way, he would be fine with what I think is best.
Okay. Well, that's what I would do. I mean, obviously, if you guys could be debt-free by today, which is amazing.
And you free up that payment,
Yeah.
which is going to help you save up faster.
But I do think, Amy, it is so normal, and this is how we are in our marriage, that one of you naturally may kind of be more of a scarcity mentality, one of you is more abundant. My husband's more of a scarcity, kind of like, okay, let's save. I'm like, we'll be okay. We're fine. and I have more of that natural mindset. But I think, you know, you both can learn